Hey everybody, boys and girls, moms and dads, children of all ages. Todd Vandermeide back for another short edition of Freedom Steel, former NRA contract lobbyist and Illinois gun law guru. I was planning on doing a video last night. It's Thursday morning early, just after 6, but my grandson is once again in the R room for seizures, and so it kind of threw a monkey wrench into last night. So it's early, didn't sleep great, and now we're on to some other things. I've got to get out to the club. We got a meeting tonight, and I got parking lots to grade so we can park and do all that kind of stuff. But I wanted to do a video on Atkinson, and I've gone through Atkinson, and that's what kind of has chewed up a little bit of time. Is that I read it. The decision itself is 12 pages, and there are good things in this decision for us. Not great, but I think very good. But what got to me is the 29-page dissent issued by Justice Wood. Justice Wood was replaced on the Court of Appeals as by President Biden, and so doesn't show up on the normal slate of judges for the circuit. But Judge Wood has taken senior status, and so she continues to fill in and hear cases. And she took senior status at the tail end of last year after Atkinson was heard. So one of the things that I kind of clicked with me was Justice Wood was also on the 3-judge panel for the motions in Barnett and the challenges to the semi-auto ban. And I think this dissent is very, very telling. Now, obviously, because this is going to be short this morning, just to give you guys an update, I think that we're going to explore a couple of things here quickly. I will try to get something out tomorrow that's much more in depth. I counted up my highlights in her 29-page decision. I have 42 portions that I think are very relevant. I think the whole dissent is very, very interesting. And I think if you want to know, I mean, here's it in a nutshell. She is laying out a roadmap for the liberals who don't like Heller, who don't like New York / Bruin, on how to try to get around Bruin. And this is no lightweight, just sling spaghetti against the wall and see what sticks. This is a well-organized, well-thought-out, and argued position. And this, if the other side, knew how to apply what I think she is saying here, would be very, very interesting in this. And I think this is the high watermark for the anti-gun intellectuals on trying to. She says she doesn't want to rewrite or re-argue Heller in New York, but that's exactly what she's doing. She is stamping her feet and complaining about lots of things in both, and then devises a workaround. So let's start here, opening. And so if Justice Wood is on the panel that's going to hear the challenges to the semi-auto ban, it is going to be a bad decision, and if she writes it, it's going to be a very bad decision. But we don't know whether or not the motions panel is going to hang on to this come the 29th. So let's start here. My own assessment of the materials that now govern Second Amendment questions per Bruin convinces me that the categorical prohibition created by 922 G1 passes muster under the Constitution. I would therefore affirm the district court below without saddling it with PhD level historical inquiry, and that necessarily will be inconclusive. So right there in the beginning, she is throwing a lot of cold water on the historical text. She recognizes what the court said in New York and how the lower courts have to treat this stuff. She goes on. At a high level of generality, few would disagree with the proposition that not all weapons qualify as the arms to which the Second Amendment refers. That is, weapons that ordinary people are entitled to use for purposes of self-defense or sport. Contrary to the textualist position, it is also plain that this is not an amendment whose meaning was frozen in time upon its addition to the Constitution. In the District of Columbia v. Heller, the court made the latter point clear when it said the Second Amendment extends prima facie to all instruments that constitute bearable arms, even those that were not in the existence at the time of the founding. Emphasis added. Now, what's really important there, ordinary people are entitled. She uses the word entitled. And she wants, if you were a true textualist of the Second Amendment or the Constitution, that the text would freeze the meaning to which the Heller court rejected. That's why I think you can see how she is doing things here that make this very, very poignant as to how she's directing, other people that are arguing this. She goes on, let's see, Second Amendment protections to everything that could be described as a weapon. Courts are compelled to draw lines, and argument is always possible near the boundaries, but some things are relatively clear. No one doubts that handguns are bearable arms, and thus the type of weapon covered by the amendment. Well beyond the other side of this imaginary line are devices such as rocket launchers or nuclear warheads, both of which are reserved for the exclusive use of the military. This is where she kind of jumps the shark, and this goes back to my argument that, we deal with things that go bang, not boom. Things that go boom, like rocket launchers, rocket-propelled grenades, the things have a blasting radius, which means that there's collateral damage, that there are things you did not aim at or point the weapon to when it detonates. And there's a big differential. They detonate. They're not a rifle shot. They're not a singular bullet that hits a target. And I think we need to make, the bang, not boom theory very, very clear, because dangerous and unusual, I think, applies to those kinds of things clearly, because one, most people don't own hand grenades, RPGs, stuff like that. And I don't know that there's any number that would make them that useful. The other thing is that the collateral damage, that, they will impact through shrapnel things that were not intended to be hit. And I think that's a big thing here. I'm just into a few of the things she has written down, but this video's knocking on 10 minutes already, so it was just a short. This is why we're going to do the dissent first. And I know I won't be home in time to do a longer video tonight, but I will definitely. So with that, guys, as always, we appreciate your thoughts and prayers, and frag out.